Got money on my mind, I swear I'm gonna win, even if it kills me. I got money on my mind, the only way I'm gonna rest is if these motherfuckers kill me. I got money on my mind.
Okay guys, welcome back to the channel, and today it's actually going to be a quite pleasing day today because, as you guys know, I've been working on the 535 diesel as it's had a massive electronics failure fault, which is a common problem on the E60s, E63s, all them cars, even the E61s, petrol, diesel, you name it, it's a massive problem. So I'm now going to post a video showing what the actual culprit is to this, and obviously it's a common problem and many people don't know the fix for it. They're searching everywhere and nobody can find it. Obviously, as you guys know, I worked and built these E60s, so I know them back to back, what module controls what. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go out to the 535 diesel and I'm going to show you what most people always think it is and what it actually ends up being in the end, which a lot of people ain't aware of. Even dealers can't even nail down the problem, and they think everything is fine because they use scanners, and if they can't find it, they don't know how to fault find. So let's go out to the car and I'm going to show you what I found and what is the main problem on this car and what has been the cause of the whole electronics failure, which Mazda took it to hundreds of people and they have not been able to diagnose it. This is the whole reason the person got rid of it. I was a bit skeptical about putting this video out, obviously helping people, but obviously it's what I do, and I feel like I have to try and get my point across and to stop people ripping their cars apart when it actually always goes by one thing which actually causes the whole electronic failure. So let's go out to the car and I'm going to show you what it is. Okay, so the first thing most people always come to on this car is usually the battery, and they start thinking that the battery's at fault and that it's either the battery cable or the IBS or the fuse is blown, for instance, or they need to change their battery. Now, as you'll see, I've got a negative cable detached, and that's because I've been playing about in the front, which you're going to see in a sec. And the other thing most people think it's always to do with is the micro power module, which is somewhere around here. I'm not too sure where it's gone, but it's around here somewhere, which is right here. That's a micro power module. That's another thing people end up thinking is at fault, which that's not a fault either. The main common culprit of this car is relays in the front of the car, which I'm going to show you. Now, as you'll see here, the fuse box is all upside down as I've got all the fuse panel out, and a lot of people will tell you that, as you can see here on the torque, that it's all the cabling all here that is the main culprit, or the fuse box panel itself, which, as you can see here, has got a lot of different wires right there, which a lot of people don't know about, and it's all the relays or this or that or the fuses here. But I can tell you now, it's none of these fuses. All these fuses are fine. As you'll see here, all the wires are fine on the junction box itself. These junction boxes don't usually go out. They don't go out at all. Now, when you look up here, if you've got the Xenons in this car, you'll see right here, you have an AHL module, which is your adaptive headlight module. You'll also, let me just get the torch. You'll also see you've got a distribution box here, which the power comes into, and brake splits off the power. That's what splits off the power right there, and it sits right there. But you also notice you've got two modules right here. Now, this is the airbag module, which is a fiber optic cable which is run into it, and there's also what we call here the central electronics module, which is also known as the control body module. Now, as the word states, central electronics module, meaning this module right here controls the whole power to the car. Now, if you've got wires going haywire and anything of that sort, and your steering's gone heavy or you're getting central electronics failure, this is your cause right here. This little box, if we can get it right out, this is the Kbm unit. This is responsible for your central electronics failure, this module right here. A lot of people ain't aware of this, but this module is the culprit for all your central electronics failures. This obviously ends up frying. It's a common problem. It used to go on the E39 as well. It solders itself from heat, and it ends up just causing a bunch of problems. Now, this doesn't relate just for diesel. This is for petrol and diesel, but this is the main culprit of why all your central electronics failure goes and all your modules are going out, because what this does, this module distributes power. It takes power from all the sources from in the engine bay, and it sends power out to all the electronics on the car, i.e. all the center console, all the steering, the Servotronic steering, all the electric steering wheel, electric seats. It sends power throughout the whole car, and it selects it off and sends it through the most line, the PT line, the K line, the camber system. It sends it throughout the whole systems on the car. It takes power direct from the car and all the fuse box itself, and then, like as I said, shares it with all the modules. Now, when this goes bad, obviously you can't get no power to all the electronics. So then what happens? You end up with central electronics failure. You guys are already aware this car already has that, and we've been trying to sort it. I spent nearly 10 hours tracing wires, as you'll see here. I removed all the floor, and you see all the wires down there. I was chasing all the wires up down there as well, running backwards from the engine bay up until I traced it back to the KBM. Now, I didn't do this with diagnostics because we couldn't do that module diagnostics, but this right here is why your central electronics fails. This one. And you guys have to be really careful with that, because a lot of garages don't know about the modules on these cars. Don't touch this one. This is your airbag module. It sits right above there. I believe all cars still have them. Even my car has this as well, the control body module, but they're prone to failure before that. Nobody knows why. It's just the way they are. I think they updated them after a certain period. As you'll see, this is a Siemens VDO one as well. But this is the main common cause of why your car fails and why you get central electronics failure. So, as you guys know, you have to take out the fuse box, which sits right up here, and it's held in by Torx bolts. You know, it sits right here like that. It sits right up there. Then you just bolt it in, and then these plugs are for the KBM. Now, you can see here this uses 4 different plugs. One distributes the power from the engine. One sends the signals back to all the modules, i.e. the CAS, the DME, the gearbox. This controls the power going to all the modules on the car. Now, when that fluctuates, it will cause no communication with all the modules on the car and on the network. This also relates back to their micro power module. It can cause, this is what causes a lot of battery drain problems on your car as well. If your battery's draining, this is the main common cause of it. This is this module that controls everything. A lot of people won't believe me. People will say, oh, a central lock-in module and this, that, the other, but this also distributes power. I know how these cars work, and you guys can go and look it up and relate to yourself, but this module is responsible for all your electronic faults. A lot of people obviously ain't gonna believe it because they don't know, they have never managed to solve the problem, but a lot of people are stupid and don't know that. That's why you go take this out, change this over, make sure you get the correct part number, as you can get them ready available. They're only cheap, but this is a major common cause of why you get this central electronics failure, this module right here. So as you'll see, guys, I've now shown you how to fix the central electronics failure on all your E60, E61 and E63. I hope this ends up helping you guys a lot, because there's been no videos regarding how to fix this problem. And I just wanted to add, guys, as well quickly, sometimes it can end up being a micro power module. As I told you, cars from 2003 to 2005 had them built in the boot, as you've seen there. After 2006, they moved it into the body module itself to shut off all the electrics because of this reason. And so they changed the manufacturer as well, who they use to build the modules. I just wanted to add that as well, so you guys are aware. Don't always think it can be a KGM. Check both modules. The micro power module controls the center console electronics, so i.e. the iDrive, the IHKA, and everything else. But if this ain't directed enough power, the micro power module won't respond. In turn, switching off all the modules. That's why when you see me use this today on the 535 diesel, half the modules are flickering around, not coming on, because they're not getting enough power, the power they need to pick up the modules. That's why I'm getting no access to entertainment system, no access to CAS system and cam faults, and that's because of that module itself. So please factor that in, guys, when you do go doing your research about the central electronics failure. Make sure you factor that in, because if you miss that, that could end up being your problem, and you don't want to be spending loads on modules when you don't have to. A lot of people are charging high price based on a micro power module, and you don't want to spend that kind of money because people know it's a common problem and they charge through the nose just to get that repaired. So make sure you don't end up getting conned and buying a micro power module and buying something you don't actually need, when you could actually factor in paying £20 and fixing the problem fully. As you guys know, the E90 suffers from the footwell module and the junction box electronics, which we have to change. The E60 suffer from the Kbm module. It's the same thing as the footwell module. It's the same thing. It controls all the lights. There's no lights coming on this car. When you click on the locks, the wipers are going mental. The Kbm controls all that. It's a control body module. Everything on the body it controls, and the electronics. It's all mixed into one. It's a common problem. A lot of people just don't know about it. There's never been a video for it. I'm finally the one to actually break this down, get a video out and show you guys what the actual cause of the problem is. It's underlying. There's so much people on forums that don't know how to fix it. The problem is persistent constantly throughout diesels, petrols, as I said to you. A lot of E60s in the era, a lot of 523i's, 525i's. It's just a global problem, and obviously dealers don't have the time. If they don't show up on the software, then they're at a loss. That's how it works. I finally cracked the problem, guys. I wanted to put this video out. I'm glad I managed to solve the problem on this, and I'm glad I managed to put the video out so make more people aware of what the problem is and where it's located. You know, it's on our passenger side, which is America's driver's side, so it'll be our driver's side where your glove box is, where the module will be situated. Go and check that module, guys. They're very cheap to buy. They only cost £20 here to buy a new one. Pull it in. I know 100% it's this thing ain't getting power at all. It's giving out, I think, 7 volts when it should be providing 12 volts constant to all the modules on the car itself. That wasn't good. I traced it all back to that module. You know, you have to do a trace and find it, but the main common culprit is going to be your Kbm module. Make sure you get that replaced, and make sure you go and check that and take that out. That's the main common culprit for central electronics failure. I don't really want to have to say it again, but you guys, if you get any problem, please leave a comment in my box below. I'll try and help you and explain to you where it's located and how to find it. If you've got a car that's 06 and you've got the same problem, it may be located elsewhere, which I can tell you where it's located on them cars. As I said though, there's many E90s with the same problem, the footwell module, the JBE. On the E60s, we suffer with the Kbm. It's just natural. You know, it's a common problem I've seen many times. Obviously, I wasn't doing YouTube back then to show you guys, but now I am. So now I'm doing it. I'm the one who's put the video out. I hope this has helped you guys. If you have enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. This is BMW Doctor here. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.